The most famous is the 1839 rebellion aboard the Amistad, where captives led by Sengbe Pierre, called Joseph Sinke, killed the captain and ordered the crew to sail back to Africa. The case eventually reached the US Supreme Court and the captives were freed. But for every successful rebellion, dozens failed. Crews were armed and captives were weak from starvation. Failed rebellions ended in massacres. Sometimes half the captives were killed as punishment. By the mid-18th century, the slave trade had fundamentally transformed African societies along the Atlantic coast and deep into the interior. Entire regions became specialized in capturing and selling people. The Bight of Biafra, the Bight of Benin, the Gold Coast, Senegambia, Central Africa, each region developed its own dynamics of the trade. Warfare intensified across West and Central Africa. Kingdoms raided each other for captives. The introduction of European firearms created military imbalances. States that refused to participate in the trade found themselves raided by neighbors who did. Agricultural production declined in affected areas. Why plant crops for next year when raiders might capture you before harvest? Why invest in infrastructure when your entire village might be gone tomorrow? The population growth that had characterized 15th century Africa reversed in many regions. Some areas didn't recover their pre-slave trade population levels until the late 20th century. But by the 1780s, resistance was building in Europe itself. The Quakers, a Christian denomination, began organizing against the slave trade, arguing it was morally wrong. Olaudah Equiano published his slave narrative in 1789. His story put a human face on the trade and became a bestseller in Britain. Activists like Thomas Clarkson gathered evidence of the trade's horrors. William Wilberforce introduced abolition bills in Parliament repeatedly, facing fierce opposition from merchant interests. In the Americas, enslaved people themselves were creating the strongest argument against slavery through constant rebellions. The most successful rebellion occurred in Saint-Domingue, Haiti, France's wealthiest colony. In 1791, enslaved Africans launched a massive uprising led by Toussaint Louverture, a brilliant military strategist. For 13 years, Haitian revolutionaries fought French, British, and Spanish forces. They defeated professional